The Great Awakening. The Great Awakening was a time period of great political, economic, cultural, and social change, where the colonies experienced a revival of faith. This time period would be essential to the start of the Revolution and the birth of a new nation.
Fading faith. America at the time was a strongly Protestant nation, but many people were apathetic towards religious traditions. The clergy, especially in New England, attempted to build their congregation sites with a halfway covenant in which the church became less exclusive. Overall, there was a sense of fading faith.
The Awakener's message. The awakening occurred between 1720 and 1760 and was strongest during the 30s and 40s. Starting in New Jersey, it revived fear of damnation and brought back a strong sense of religion to the colonies. It had the greatest effect on Boston and Virginia. The problem began when the college-educated clergy became too traditional and, in fact, bored the average churchgoer who attended the congregations. Lay exhorting which decreed that anyone could be converted and preach the Lord's truth horrified the clergy. This unified the lower classes against them because they were tired of the old world mentality of church and its exclusiveness.
Revivalism in the urban north. In Boston, a huge controversy sprung up about money in banks. This pitted lower-class artisans against upper-class merchants. When George Whitefield arrived in Boston, the church hoped he would restore social harmony. But instead, he started a movement of religious independence from the church and gathered followers in the lower classes who hoped for reform and a fair distribution of wealth. The fight that began for religion was turning extremely political.
Southern Revivalism. In the 1740s, Virginia became deeply involved in the Great Awakening. Samuel Davies, a New Light preacher, influenced the spread of New Light Presbyterianism. Baptists became strong leaders for the Virginian people and preached for a fairer society. In 1747, these strolling preachers had such a vast impact that college-bound Anglican clergymen had them outlawed.
Legacy of the Awakening. The legacy had three major impacts on the future of the colonies. The first impact was that it promoted equality amongst denominations and built community diversity. Because all religions were legitimized, they could live in harmony, and not one church was superior. This led to a key concept that extends to today's government, the separation of church and state. New colleges were created that accepted students regardless of religion, which were controlled by men of different faiths, and taught classical Greek and Roman themes into education, as well as more modern sciences and philosophy.
The second impact of the Great Awakening was the unity that it created between the people. The brief period of harmony allowed for communities to join together. The colonists soon started to see themselves as a joint group of Americans, instead of a motley crew of immigrants. Especially after the French and Indian War, the Americans gained a sense of self-worth that allowed them to later question authority and form a nation of their own. America may never have been born without the great sense of identity that was gained during the social change of the Awakening.
The third effect of the Revolution was the rebellious mindset that it created. Before the Awakening, the people disapproved of the clergy's detachment with the message of faith. After the wave of revival, people developed a personal connection to faith that led to the creation of various denominations, usurping the institution of church. By overthrowing the church, people developed a new approach to authority that became essential to the colonist revolution against Britain.
America without the Awakening. If America had not experienced the Awakening, life would be different. The U.S. would have taken much longer to be the nation we are today. Schools, even those that were public, would be religious. The government would be a solely Christian body. Voting would be limited to white church-going men. Women and non-churchgoers would be heavily persecuted, and life simply would not be equal.
Despite the fact that we still have much to reform, there is still prejudice and inequality. The nation today is much better off because of the legacy of the Great Awakening. In fact, there may not have even been a United States of America, because without the new mentality, the colonists might not have even rebelled.
From then to now. Today, the United States is a world superpower economically and socially. The nation is a stronghold of rights and equality. It is not a stretch to say that the mentality of equality was gained from the pluralism of religion and the harmony between denominations. The U.S. is also a nation of religious tolerance because of the tolerance gained during the Awakening. It is possible that the nation could have been a religious stronghold like Saudi Arabia had the separation of church and state not existed. America could have its own Vatican City and would not have been the most diverse and free nation in the world.
And
That's the Great Awakening.
Thanks for your time.
Yay!